Hey, what's happening, everybody? It's your old pal Mr. Butter coming back at you again. Today I want to get into a pair that I am really pumped about. I was able to pick up the Fire Red Jordan 5s from my local Finish Line, and I can't wait to get into them with y'all. If you're into kicks and you feel like hanging out, then hit that subscribe button. Let's take a look at these Fire Red Jordan 5s. And I figured since I was picking up an OG Jordan 5, it was a perfect occasion to wear these Grape 5s. This is the pair that came out this year, and I'm really happy with how they came out. But anyway, let's get to what you're here to see. What is happening, everybody? It is wonderful to be back here with y'all again. I'm recording this video on the day that we saw these Fire Red Jordan 5s release, and I have been really looking forward to this pair. I've owned the Fire Red Jordan 5s before, but never this version, and this is my favorite version, so I'm just pumped we were able to get these. Jordan 5 releases have been absolutely on point this year, and if I had to pick one silhouette to represent 2025, I might even say this is the year of the Jordan 5. I think they made really high numbers of these. Hopefully everybody that wanted them was able to get them, but I just love the fact that it was easy to go to my local store and grab an OG classic such as this and walk out without any problems. I haven't even looked to see if they're still sitting online, but I heard reported numbers were really high, and I've heard a lot of people saying that they think that they'll sit. I don't think that's a bad thing. I still see the Cavestone 4s sitting at my store. The Shattered Backboard Jordan 1s are still sitting at my store. They even had some cool grade 9s. They had the Rare Air 3s, the Pure Money 3s. But it's just wild because you can walk into a store and see all kinds of Jordan retro heat just sitting there, and really I love it. I wish it was always like that, but we know how it goes. It always comes in waves, and right now it's a really good time to pick up dope sneakers without having to break the bank for it. But looking at the box, there's really nothing special about that. We've seen this version a whole lot. It's the flip top lid, and it's black on the top with that bright red Jumpman, and then the bottom of it has that cement print or the paint splatter, whatever you want to call it, going along the bottom. The tag reads Air Jordan 5 Retro OG. The colors are white, fire red, and black. Just as I did with the Grape Jordan 5s, I went true to size with my size 10 on this pair. And my oh my,
talk about nostalgia.
I was a huge fan of the way that they delivered the Grape Jordan 5s this year. And if I'm being honest, the Grape Jordan 5s probably are my favorite colorway of a Jordan 5. I know people were probably shocked to hear that I said I preferred the Grape 5s over those black metallic Jordan 5s that we got this year, but that's just the truth of it. I wear white sneakers a lot more than what I wear black sneakers, and for me, those Grape 5s just really take me back to the 90s when I was a kid rocking a whole bunch of Charlotte gear and that kind of stuff. But with that being said, if I think of Jordan wearing a pair of 5s, this is what comes to mind. This right here just takes me back to watching Jordan play in the early 90s. I think this colorway first came out in 1990, and we've seen a whole lot of Fire Red 5s released since then, but as I pointed out, this one does have that black tongue. I've owned a pair or two of the reflective tongue Fire Red 5s, but this is absolutely my favorite. Not only do I prefer the look of this black tongue to the reflective tongue, but I also think these tongues are way more comfortable than when we get the tongues that have the reflective coating on top of them. It just makes it really stiff whenever they have that reflective stuff on them. So I prefer the look of these, but I also just prefer the way that they feel on feet. The Grape 5s that we got earlier this year also have a very soft tongue, and I'm just a big fan of the way that that feels on foot. Whenever I first got the Grape 5s, I was really surprised by how much I really like the material on them. It's just really soft. It's a nice bright white leather, and I would say that this material is right on par with what we got on those Grape 5s. So if you like that material, you're also going to like this material. It's smooth for the most part. There's a little bit of texture here and there, but overall it's a really smooth white leather, but it's a decent thickness and it's just very soft to the touch. I've got no complaints with the material that they gave us on these. Looking at the tread pattern, it is a very classic looking outsole. We do have herringbone traction underneath the forefoot and the heel, and that is in that icy blue translucent rubber. Underneath the forefoot, you can see the Jumpman kind of peeking through there, and there at the front of the toe, you can see that we've got some fire red hits, and then at the midfoot, we've also got some fire red hits with some Nike branding. Then as we come up to the midsole area, we can see that that icy blue rubber comes up to meet some black and fire red painted foam. The paint looks very, very nice and clean. A lot of times that's a place where you see a lot of imperfections, but I think this paint looks really nice. We have that nice bright red surrounding our visible air unit there, and that looks as clear as can be, which I always like to see. But overall QC on this pair, I've got no complaints at all. I think they did these well. As we come up to the upper on the shoe, again, we just have a pretty smooth white leather. It's very soft feeling. It really does feel just like the same material that we got on the Grape 5s. And again, I was a big fan of it on that pair, and I'm a big fan of it on this pair. Really, I'm not seeing any imperfections with this leather, and whenever you look at the side of these overlays, you can see that it's a decent thickness. I love the way that 23 looks embroidered on the side. I think that is just an iconic look. I mean, just that right there takes me back to the 90s. And then on the heel of the shoe, of course, we get Nike Air embroidered in black, and I'm one of those that prefer seeing Nike Air to a Jumpman on the back of retros. Just like all 5s, we do have that netting on the side panels and then also on the tongue as well. But that is just like a clear translucent rubber with like a white mesh underneath. And there you can also see it underneath of the laces. We got flat white laces in this pair. It didn't come with any spares, but I can't imagine swapping them out. They probably would look good with some black laces, but being that this is an OG, I'm just going to leave it the way it is and rock them this way. On the sides of the laces at the base of the shoe, we have some white plastic accents, but then when we get to the top, we can see a black plastic accent. And of course, with this being a 5, we did get that pacifier and the lace lock up here at the top of the laces. I always take this clear piece off and just leave that little plastic piece left. But on this one, the plastic button on the inside is a red color. I've always just felt like this clear plastic gets in the way, so I'll show you what I'm talking about with this pair I'm wearing. And once again, one of my favorite things about this pair is the fact that we got the black tongue and not that reflective tongue. I like the way the reflective tongue looks, but I definitely prefer when we have this softer material, and I also prefer the look of it. But it's like a black neoprene material, and then we've got a red Jumpman embroidered on there. On the back of the tongue, we can see that we've got that Air Jordan upside down. And then our sock liner is fire red, and our insole is fire red, and it's got some black Nike Air branding down on it. So that was a pretty quick look at these black tongue fire red Jordan 5s. I love the way that these came out. I was very happy to see that they were done similarly to the Grape 5 pair. Materials are nice, the QC seems good, and when it comes to iconic colorways on a classic Jordan silhouette, it just doesn't get much better than this in my opinion. I haven't even looked to see if these have sold out or not, but I'd imagine they'll be available for quite some time just because we're seeing just about everything sitting right now. I'm not complaining. I don't mind that they're sitting at all. This isn't something I was hoping to make money off of. This is just an absolute classic that I wanted for my personal collection. But anyhow, let me know if you grabbed a pair of these or if you passed. I really appreciate you all watching tremendously, and I will catch y'all on the next one. I'm out.